Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into some massive news for Beatles fans. If you've been on this journey with me, you know that the 1995 Beatles Anthology documentary is pretty much the holy grail. It was the first time Paul, George, and Ringo got together to tell their incredible story, in their own words, with John's voice woven in through amazing archive footage. For many of us, the expanded DVD set from 2003 has been a prized possession, a definitive look into the world's greatest band. Well, get ready to clear your schedules, because on November 26th, the entire anthology series is getting a major upgrade and coming to Disney+. And this isn't just a simple re-release. We're talking a full-on remaster, with spruced-up picture and audio that is going to make it feel like you are right there in the room with them. The release will be staggered, with the first 3 parts dropping on the 26th, and the rest following in batches over the next 2 days. But here's the biggest news: the series now includes an all-new 9th episode. This brand-new installment, directed by Oliver Murray, is packed with never-before-seen footage and interviews. We'll get to see Paul, George, and Ringo during the making of the original anthology project, and even more excitingly, during the recording sessions for the reunion singles, Free as a Bird and Real Love. The recently released trailer gives us a tantalizing glimpse of this new footage, and it looks absolutely incredible. This whole restoration project has been a massive undertaking, handled by Apple Corps and Peter Jackson's legendary Wingnut Films and Park Road Post teams. The man at the helm of the sound is none other than Giles Martin, the son of the Beatles' iconic producer, the late great Sir George Martin. Giles has become the trusted custodian of the Beatles' sonic legacy, from his work on the Love soundtrack back in 2006 to the groundbreaking Get Back project in 2021. And it's not just the documentary. The 3 original anthology albums, filled with outtakes and live performances, are also being remastered. Even better, they're being released as a box set on November 21st, which will include a brand new compilation called Anthology 4. It is an absolute feast for any serious fan. In a recent interview, Giles Martin shared some fascinating and personal stories about the original anthology project. He revealed that back in the 90s, his father had semi-retired. Giles remembered his dad telling him, "I've been asked to work on a Beatles project," which was the first time that had happened since 1970. At that point, George Martin was starting to lose his hearing, and he asked his teenage son, Giles, who was fresh out of university, to come into the studio and be his ears. Giles recalled them sitting at a piano together, with his father showing him which notes he could no longer hear. It's an incredibly touching image of a father passing the torch to his son. Giles also shed some light on the band's dynamic during that time. He believes that a lot of the drama and infighting we read about has been blown way out of proportion by journalists and mythmakers over the years. He said, "There wasn't massive arguments in the Beatles. The arguments happened afterwards." He pointed out that George and Ringo remained best friends the entire time. The real source of the post-breakup tension, he suggests, was the fractured relationship between John and Paul. But at their core, Giles asserts, Paul and John were best friends. The fame and everything that came after just made it incredibly difficult to maintain that bond. According to Giles, John's tragic death in 1980 was a catalyst that eventually brought the surviving members back together, creating the drive to finally make the anthology. While he couldn't pinpoint who exactly kicked off the project, he noted that Paul was often the instigator for many of the Beatles' biggest ideas, from CTT, Pepper to Magical Mystery Tour, and more recently, the Now and Then single. Giles laughingly shared a quote from Ringo, who used to joke that the Beatles would have only made 3 albums if it wasn't for Paul. Apparently, the others would be relaxing in their gardens when the phone would ring, and they'd sigh, "Oh God, it's him again." When asked if the anthology project provided a sense of closure for the band, Giles agreed. He said they all found closure in their own ways. He beautifully summed up their legacy by quoting George Harrison from the documentary itself, "It stops being us and the Beatles belong to the world, and that's the truth, isn't it? The Beatles are now a permanent part of our culture." Their music continues to find new generations of fans, and as Giles said, "A little Beatles goes a long way to making people feel good." He concluded by saying there will never be a full stop to the Beatles. They're a legacy we should all be proud of. So, mark your calendars for November 26th. This remastered anthology on Disney Plus is more than just a re-release. It's a re-evaluation and a celebration of the most important band in history, with new stories to tell and new moments to share. I, for one, cannot wait to experience it all over again. What are you most excited to see in the new footage? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. See you in the next one.